Hey, sixth grade. Welcome to another edition of Online Learning with Miss Lindsay. Today we are going over lesson 7.5, which is real world problems, algebraic expressions. Math is all about representing things that happen in the real world. So when we work with these real world problems, we are really like doing math as it's intended. So we're going to do some together and then you'll do some on your own. And I'll ask you to turn in your answers for a select number. Let's get started. Number one on page 81. We're on page 81, number one. Daniel's house is located B miles from his school. The swimming pool is 3 miles further from his school. His doctor's office is 4 miles less than twice the distance from home to Daniel's school. A, write an expression that shows the distance from Daniel's house to the swimming pool. Okay, so we need to take a look at what we have. We know that Daniel's house is B miles from his school, and the question asks about the swimming pool. The swimming pool is 3 miles farther from his school. So he has to go from his house to his school and then go 3 miles farther. The expression to show the distance, well, the distance from Daniel's house to the school is B, and then he has to go 3 miles farther, so we have to add 3 to that. So the expression is B plus 3. The parentheses, you don't have to have them, but they're nice to have. It represents that is a group. It goes together. All right, let's look at B. B says, write an expression that shows the distance from Daniel's house to his doctor's office. So the doctor's office, it says, we look up here, the doctor's office is 4 miles less than twice the distance from home to Daniel's school. Well, home to Daniel's school is B. 4 miles less than twice that distance would be 2 times B, which is 2B. But then it's 4 miles less, so we've got to subtract 4. So the expression is 2B minus 4. You see how this is working? So we are taking what we know in the real world and making an expression to represent that. I want you to try C on your own, and we'll go on to number 2. We're not going to do number 2 together, but I do want to give you a little hint about number 2. And number 2 says, Casey can knit 6M dresses in 2 hours. And the hint I wanted to give you is it gives us this rate, 6 doll dresses in 2 hours. But it really helps us, instead of knowing how many she knits in 2 hours, to know how many she knits in 1 hour. So if she knits 6M dresses in 2 hours, how many would she knit in 1 hour? Well, it would be half as much, which would be 3M. So it's 3M dresses per hour. All right, there you go. That is your hint for number 2. All right, let's go on to the next one, page 82. 3, I'm going to let you do on your own. Let's look at number 4. Number 4, a bit out of focus. Let me focus that. Adam sold 16p newspapers in the morning. He sold 3/4 as many newspapers in the afternoon as he did in the morning. He sold 20 more newspapers in the evening than he did in the afternoon. How many newspapers did Adam sell altogether in terms of P? So we've got 3, if I'm reading this correctly, we've got 3 time periods in which he sells newspapers. We got the morning, we've got the afternoon, and then we've got the evening. So let's write down what we know. In the morning, he sold 16p newspapers. So we're going to put 16p. Then in the afternoon, He sold 3/4 as many newspapers in the afternoon as he did in the morning. So if you're finding a fraction of a number, remember we've talked about this many times in class, that is a multiplication problem. So you are going to take the number he sold in the morning and multiply it by 3/4. So let's do that. 3/4 times. Now instead of writing 16p as like this, we are going to write it as a fraction. And to write it as a fraction, it would be 16p over 1. And let's go ahead and simplify that. Can you do any simplifying? Yes, 4 and 16 have a greatest common factor of 4. 4 goes into 4 one time, 4 goes into 16 4 times. So 3 times 4p would be 12p over 1, which is just 12p. All right, so we've got the morning, we've got the afternoon. So morning is 16p, afternoon is 12p, and then we've got the evening. And the evening says he sold 20 more newspapers in the evening than the afternoon. So we need to take the number that he sold in the afternoon and add 20 more to it. So in the afternoon, it was 12p, and we have to add 20. Okay, so there are our expressions for the number of newspapers he sold in those 3 time periods. Let's look at the question again. How many newspapers did Adam sell altogether in terms of P? And remember, when it says in terms of P, all that means is that P needs to be a part of your expression. So if we want to know how many altogether, that's an adding problem. So we are going to add 12p for the afternoon, 16p for the morning, and then 12p plus 20 in the evening. We've got to add them all up. Now, remember adding like terms, these all have p in them, so we can add them. 2 plus 6 is 8, 8 plus 2 more is 10, 0, carry 1, and that would be 40p plus 20. So there is your answer, 40p plus 20. Just as an extension, if you want to get super fancy, we could factor this. And instead of writing 40p plus 20, we could factor out a 20, because 20 goes into both, and it would look like this. That's just a little extension, but this is fine, or this is fine. Okay, if P equals 3, how many newspapers did Adam sell altogether? Well, now I'm going to substitute 3 for P in this. So 40, remember how many he sold is 40p plus 20. So it's going to be 40 times 3 plus 20. Well, 40 times 3 is 120, plus 20 is 140 newspapers. There we go. There's our answer for 4B. All right, 5, I'm going to let you do on your own. And 6, we're going to do A, and then 7, we are going to do together. So let's look at 6. The width of a rectangular field is 3/8 yards, and its length is 3 yards longer than the width. The field has a fence around its perimeter with a gate 4 yards wide as shown. A says, write an expression for the perimeter of the rectangular field in terms of H, excluding the width of the gate. Excluding means we need to take this measurement out. Okay, so this side is 3H plus 3. This side is 3H. Well, this side would also be 3H. This side is a little bit different. It is just as long as this, but we have to take out 4 yards. So this side is 3H plus 3, that's the length of the whole thing, minus 4. Okay? So if you were to combine like terms, I don't know if we've done one like this. We've got 3h, but you got a positive 3, excuse me, and a negative 4. Well, think about our number line. If you take 3 and you subtract 4, you go back 4 spaces, you would end up at negative 1. So this side is 3h minus 1. So we've got 3h, 3h plus 3, 3h, and then 3h minus 1. So perimeter is the distance around. So we are going to do 3h plus, I did that one, plus 3h plus 3, that's this side, plus 3h, that's this side, plus 3h minus 1, that is this side right here. Okay, then we're going to combine like terms. So we've got 3h plus 3h plus 3h plus 3h. So 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12. So that simplifies to 12h. Then we got a plus 3 and a minus 1. Well, 3 minus 1 is 2, so we add 2. So it is 12h plus 2. Now, once you have this, I think you can figure out what B and C are. All right, the last one is pretty tricky. Number 7. Moesha is 3G plus 1 years old, and Shanti is twice Moesha's age. Find the sum of Moesha and Shanti, find the sum of the ages of Moesha and Shanti in 2 years' time. So that was A. What makes this tough is the problem gives us their current age, but the question asks in 2 years' time. So I need to organize my work. So I'm going to make a little chart, and I'm going to put now and in 2 years. Okay, so let's look at Moesha. I'm going to just put an M for Moesha. Moesha is 3G plus 1. So right now she is 3G plus 1. Well, in 2 years' time, we got to add 2 years to this. So we take her age now, 3G plus 1, but we've got to add 2 years to it. So that simplifies to 3G plus 3. Okay, then we have Shanti. Shanti is twice Moesha's age. So we've got to multiply Moesha's age times 2. Now remember, Moesha's age, 3G plus 1, is a grouping. It goes together. It represents her one age. And so Shanti is twice as much. So when I multiply 2 times Moesha's age, I've got to distribute that 2. So we've got 2 times 3G is 6G, plus 2 times 1 is 2. So now Shanti's age is 6G plus 2. Well, in 2 years' time, we take her current age, 6G plus 2, and we add 2 to it. So that would be 6G plus 4. So now Moesha is 3G plus 1, Shanti is 6G plus 2. In 2 years, Moesha is 3G plus 3, Shanti is 6G plus 4. All right, let me read the question. All I've done is organize my work. Now I need to read the question. Find the sum of their ages in 2 years' time. So we don't really need this now. We are looking at 2 years. And the sum means we need to add these together. We're going to add them. So let's add like terms. Well, these both have G in them. So we do 6G plus 3G. And 6G plus 3G is 9G. And then we've got plus 3 plus 4. So that is plus 7. So in 2 years' time, their ages are 9G plus 7. B, how old will Shanti be when Moesha's age is twice her present age? How old will Shanti be when Moesha's age is twice her present age? Okay, So what we've got there, are we talking about now or in 2 years' time? Well, we are talking about now. So I'm going to use the information from here. How old will Shanti be when Moesha's age is twice her present age? Ooh, this is tough. Okay. How old will Shanti be when Moesha's age? I should have looked at this ahead of time. When Moesha's age is twice her present age, how old will Shanti? Shanti is this. Moesha, okay. Oh. I'm going to have to look at that. I am going to look at this and we're going to Zoom the answer next week. So in your Zoom meeting, we need to do this one. And we're going to also do this one because I think we have to figure out this one to solve this one. So I remember this from last year. This is a tough problem. A was not so tough, but B and C I'm going to have to look and sit down and work it through. All right, class. So we have done some problems together. I want you to work this section on your own, and you all have a great evening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. All right, that sucked. Oops. Where is it? Still recording? Ooh.